The damage to Syria is being assessed after another round of airstrikes aimed at disabling the ISIS terror group.
Technology is one of the biggest challenges facing Cal State Fullerton. Our Dean of the College of Communications, Dr. Matz, will be in the studio to talk more about the changes and the goals of the college.
And cooler weather is coming our way. Get your boots and fall coats ready. We'll have a complete look at the forecast. OC News starts right now.
And I'm Maria Zamudio. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton. The latest round of airstrikes comes just hours after the President Obama spoke before the United Nations General Assembly. Obama says the world is at a crossroad and America will lead it down the right path. He called for a more inclusive fight against global threats. Mary Maloney has the details.
World leaders gathered at the United Nations heard a call to action from President Barack Obama.
This speaks to a central question of our global age, whether we will solve our problems together in a spirit of mutual interest and mutual respect, or whether we descend into the destructive rivalries of the past.
In his address to the UN, the president says the U.S. is ready to lead the charge on the most urgent issues facing the world, like terrorism, climate change, and Ebola.
The United States of America will not be distracted or deterred from what must be done.
President Obama spoke on extremism and the need to stop terror groups like ISIS and quell sectarian violence in the Middle East.
Whether the nations here today will be able to renew the purpose of the UN's founding, and whether we will come together to reject the cancer of violent extremism.
He says the key to future peace is the youth.
If young people live in places where the only option is between the dictates of a state or the lure of an extremist underground, then no counterterrorism strategy can succeed.
The president also pushed for more global involvement in containing a different kind of threat, the Ebola virus.
We need a broader effort to stop a disease that could kill hundreds of thousands, inflict horrific suffering, destabilize economies, and move rapidly across borders.
In Atlanta, I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
We will do our part and help developing nations do theirs.
Police are investigating the death of a woman in her 40s at El Toro Carniceria in Santa Ana today. Authorities say the woman entered the market in the 1300 block of West 1st Street just before 9 a.m. and began causing a disturbance. The woman was acting strangely and started to take her clothes off. A security guard and store manager restrained her with handcuffs and moved her to the back room. Before officers arrived, the woman had died due to a medical issue. It is not known if the woman was under the influence of alcohol or drugs. An autopsy is yet to be performed due to determine cause of death.
Monday voted unanimously to begin trapping and euthanizing coyotes that have preying on pets. A large number of residents made pleas for the city to take action after dozens of pets have been killed by the wild animals in recent weeks. The council voted 4-0 to approve two-week trapping sessions beginning next week. The results are expected to be reviewed at the October 13th meeting. The council also voted to clean up overgrown areas where coyotes take shelter. Required trash can be covered and fine people for leaving food out.
All of us here at OC News are part of the College of Communications. Our Department of Communications and our sister departments of the Radio, TV, Film, and Human Communications are all undergoing some dramatic changes in the areas of technology, ethics, and media consolidation. Our college is making huge strides to keep up with the changing landscape of our field. OC News reporter Sophia Guerrero is here in the studio with our college dean to talk about some of those changes. Sophie?
So thrilled to have Dr. Irene Matz, the interim dean of the College of Communications, with us here today. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you, Sophia.
I have to admit, we're a little bit nervous having you here, but you've seen us kind of working. What'd you see?
And I'm nervous too, so we're okay.
Okay. Did you like what we're doing so far?
I think it's awesome to see the crew and to see you working. It's heartwarming for me.
Good. I'm glad. So I know there's lots of changes in our field. What are some goals the college has for those changes?
Well, as you know, the field is changing so drastically. You can take a whole picture and a whole movie on a little iPhone. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that students have the best state-of-the-art equipment and camera. And we've been really fortunate because we've partnered with the IT division on this campus, and so now we have more resources, we have more availability to do more things for the college and for the students to have more equipment to work with. State of the art. One of our goals is that we will take what we're doing here and we will put it in the library on the higher floors and put it behind glass so students can walk by and see what you're doing. Wouldn't that be exciting?
That would be so cool. I think it would bring a lot of people to see what we're actually doing here in this department.
Right. We are applying for a grant, $1 million grant, and we're hoping that it will come through. And even if it doesn't, we're so excited about this possibility. So we would have the disc jockeys and also the camera, and everything that you're doing here would be kind of like in a glass enclosure for students to walk by and get excited about what you do and see what you do.
When do you think that might be able to happen?
Well, we're in the beginning stage of just applying for the grant, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully, right now the libraries of the future is being reinvented, and we had earthquake damage a few months ago, and so now we're looking at the library. They're also looking at circulation. What they found was 20% of our books have not been circulated ever. And so those will probably be taken off the shelves unless they'll put it out to the campus community and make sure that it's one that they don't want. But so we'll be redesigning the space in the library, and it would be wonderful to have Titan Communication part of that visible space.
I agree with you. So do you have any personal goals for yourself as being dean?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be in this role. I spent almost 6 years as the Associate Dean, and I'm a tenured faculty member, so I've been doing this a long time. My personal goal is to make sure you and every student on our campus, and we have about 38,000 of them, that they get the best possible education and that they feel like they're supported and rightly advised. We've now enhanced our advisement center. It's on the 6th floor of College Park, where we have everything in one place. So the internship information is there. We have graduation specialists is there. We have our leadership group, the SOAR group. We have academic advisement, and then the assistant dean for student affairs. So everything is one area, and we're hoping that students will find it easier and be advised, and so they're not taking extra classes that they don't need, and it will prompt their graduation to be right on target.
Awesome, great, that sounds good. So coming up with these changes as well, there's technology changes. What are some technologies that students are able to use here on campus?
Well, the one thing that I think students don't know, and so I'm glad to have the opportunity to say this, if there is a student who needs an iPad or a laptop, they can check it out in the library. And if they need one, let's say that they need one for the whole semester, all they have to have is their faculty to approve that and write a little note, take it to the library, and we'll make sure they have that kind of support for the semester. So we're here to help our students. Over 50% of our students are first-generation graduate students. Most of them work, and so we know they're not the traditional student that's all they have to do. So we really want to make their life here and their journey here to be one that's not so arduous, that it's hard to get through, and that they feel our support, and that when they do graduate, when you walk off that stage, that you'll come back and see us.
Awesome, that's really great too. I mean, I feel like their students have crazy schedules, and so having that availability for us to check out those equipment makes our life a lot easier. So thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate taking your time out of your schedule.
My pleasure, and the best of luck to you and all the people in the studio. It's exciting for me to be part of it, and thank you. I hope you'll invite me back again.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
It looks like we have a lot to look forward to. Back to you guys.
Let's send you over to Brian Hermosissima with today's tech segment.
Amongst some of the many new features that the iPhone has to offer, Apple Pay is one of them. The generational project of escaping money has become simultaneously more compact and less difficult. But how safe is it? Reporter and expert on cybersecurity, Jose Pagliari, explains how this new feature works.
Since when is your wallet getting thinner a good thing? Welcome to the future, brought to you by Apple.
It is so cool!
The new iPhone 6 has something called Apple Pay, which lets you store and use your credit cards just by scanning your phone. The technology that sends your payment from your phone to the register is called NFC. It stands for Near Field Communication. And it's basically an antenna inside your phone that delivers short encrypted radio waves with your payment data, and it's been around for a while. It's used on Google Wallet, PayPal, and a few other services. But is it safe? Well, it turns out that it's a lot safer than the credit cards we use today, and it's much harder to steal data with NFC. For one thing, your phone doesn't give up your credit card number, it actually creates a one-time use code that gets approved by the bank for every transaction. And that CVV code in the back of your credit card, that changes with every transaction too. So, even if hackers manage to hack their way into a store and grab this payment data, it's useless to them, because each code can only be used once.
I still can't quite understand why Apple doesn't call it iPay, because essentially that's exactly what I'm doing with it anyway. I pay with it. So as long as you're not storing nude pictures of yourself on iPhone, I think you'll be just fine. Maybe in the future we can look forward to a new feature called iPlug for all the recent leaks we've been seeing, or had the opportunity of seeing, should I say. Now for today's Tech Trash Talk, Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk talked some smack to its competition, Boeing. Both companies have been given the task of successfully creating manned flights to the International Space Station, where they will have to demonstrate their ability to deliver cargo, dock, and then return safely to Earth. Here's Rachel Crane with some of that trash talk.
Boeing won $4.2 billion in this contract. SpaceX was awarded $2.6 billion. Let's talk about that discrepancy there. I mean, are you guys in second place here?
Our system will do about twice as much for about half as much.
As the Boeing system,
yeah,
the CST 100.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
your system is then superior, you say?
Yeah, oh, definitely, like light years ahead.
How so?
Well, we can do precise propulsive landing. They're doing parachutes and airbags.
Boeing responded because Musk has not seen its contract proposal. He cannot back up his claim that SpaceX will provide twice the service for half the cost. Also, Boeing says that its CST 100 only needs an area of less than 20 square miles to land, not the 100 square miles that Musk estimated. They also disputed that Musk's characterization of the landing looking like a crash. After a grueling 6-day week that included nearly round-the-clock work, local motors, together with Cincinnati Incorporated, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and AMT, the Association for Manufacturing Technology, unveiled that the world's first 3D printed drivable vehicle. Here's Sean Lewis with the story.
The team started with these carbon fiber plastic beads from Cincinnati Incorporated and using their large 3D printer, which they set up right here at McCormick Place to make the body layer by layer. Oak Ridge National Labs is also part of the team for the Strati, which has a whisper-quiet electric motor.
Some of these will be made with internal combustion motors that run on diesel or petrol, and some of these will be made with the current status of electric motors, like this one is, and some of them will be made with powertrains that we haven't even seen yet.
After that, it was time for the test drive. Jay took the controls for the first spin. This thing must get a lot of looks.
Well, we haven't had it out at all. This is the first time. I mean, it went together this morning.
But it wasn't long. Ready to go? Until he took the big risk. 4 miles an hour. Watch out, Chicago. We have a renegade news anchor. And let me get behind the wheel. You know, I haven't had so many people watch me drive since I was getting my first driver's license. You can only imagine the looks, the photos, as I whipped around at a glacial pace, coming nowhere close to the top speed of 40 miles an hour. Still, it's a thrill to drive a printed car that didn't even exist 2 days ago. My first time driving your car, how did I do?
You did a great job. I didn't hear you, though. It was really quiet.
It's amazing to me how they can create a printer that can build a 3D car and still can't make a printer that will print my paper the day that it's due. Well, that about wraps me up for your tech segment. Back to you guys.
From Fullerton City Council to updates on the White House, here's Kimberly Flores with the latest in political news.
Today I'll be talking about a new regulation that the Fullerton City Council has confirmed. From there, we'll move on to the California State Legislature and the ban on plastic bags that was recently passed. It's currently on its way to Governor Brown's desk, and if signed, will be the first statewide ban in the country. We'll end with an update on the White House. But before I get to all of that, I want to bring to everybody's attention that the last day to register to vote is nearing, and Election Day is only 41 days away. The last day to register to vote is October 20th. The state of California makes this really easy for you. All you have to do is visit our Secretary of State, Deborah Bowen's website, and click Register to Vote Now. That's sos.ca.gov/elections. Voter turnout drastically decreases on non-presidential election years, but the California election is an important one this year. There's currently a 2/3 supermajority of Democrats in both the State Assembly and Senate. Regardless of what side of the aisle you fall on, it's an important vote either to keep that majority or get rid of it. It's your vote. The United States Senate is also up for grabs. That's another important vote to cast. The Senate is 6 seats away from a Republican takeover, in which case there will be a majority of Republicans in both the House and the Senate. So register to vote and make sure you show up on November 4th to your nearest polling station. The Fullerton City Council has unanimously approved a request from Chief Dan Hughes of the Fullerton Police Department to buy 140 wearable cameras. This request is going to cost an estimated $650,000. The camera is about the size of a cigarette pack and is worn over the middle of the chest. This comes as a response to the 2011 killing of a schizophrenic California homeless man, Kelly Thomas. Protests erupted around Fullerton following the not guilty sentences of the former police officers Manuel Ramos and Jay Cicinelli. More than 1,000 police departments in the country have already begun using these wearable cameras. Police officers in Ferguson, Missouri started wearing cameras weeks after an officer fatally shot an unarmed teenager. According to the Fullerton Police Chief Dan Hughes, the officers really want to wear the devices. They say it will help them with protection and additional evidence. Cal State Fullerton police officers will also be included in this new regulation. They will begin wearing these devices come November. From Chico State to Huntington Beach, Monterey to Los Angeles counties, plastic bag ordinances have already been springing up all over the state. The option to bag your groceries in either plastic or paper may no longer be an option in the entire state of California. The legislature passed a bill banning the use of plastic bags in California grocery stores, pharmacies, liquor stores, and other businesses. The bill is currently awaiting a signature from Governor Jerry Brown. If signed, this piece of legislation would institute the first statewide ban on plastic bags in the United States. Campaigns such as Bag the Ban were developed in response to proposed laws nationwide that would ban or tax plastic grocery bags. Proponents of the ban state that the filmy material is rarely recycled and commonly littered. The plastic often ends up in the ocean, harming sea life. Most producers of plastic and paper bags oppose the law, saying it will cost jobs. The ban would begin on July 1st, 2015, so you have a few months left to collect as many plastic bags as you can, or you can start getting accustomed to shopping with reusable bags so it's not a complete shock come July. Today, President Obama attended the United Nations General Assembly meeting in New York and addressed the youth and their desire for a better world. Here's a short video of the president making the address.
In the eyes of young people who I've met around the globe, they remind me that no matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or what God you pray to, or who you love, there's something fundamental that we all share.
Back to you guys.
Titan TV is a student-operated facility maintained by students.
It's on the Cal State Fullerton campus, and it's a great opportunity for Cal State Fullerton students to get hands-on experience directly in a studio environment.
Working with Titan TV puts me in this professional environment. Everyone here is really fun to work with, and everyone just gets along so well. I'm having a great time.
You are watching Titan TV.
Titan Radio is Cal State Fullerton's own radio station located in the basement of Pollock Library. Students can stop by and pick up an application during operating hours. Anyone who has a computer and internet can listen to us www.titanradio.org. A lot of people who want to pursue TV and film usually start out in radio, so it's always a great opportunity.
It was extremely hot last week, and we are all hoping for a cool down. Here's Shayna to tell us more.
Hello, it is hot today in Fullerton. Currently, the temperature is 92 degrees, and later it is going to cool down to 67 degrees. Wind speeds today at 9 miles an hour, humidity 46%. The sun rose this morning at 6:41 a.m. and will be setting at 6:45 p.m. tonight. With mostly clear skies today, it will be partly cloudy later on. For the rest of the week, we can finally look forward to some cooling here in Orange County. today reached 93 degrees with a low of 67. Thursday will be 91 degrees and lows of 66. Then Friday, temperatures will drop down to a nice 83 degrees with a low of 63 degrees in the evening. Staying very comfortable this weekend, we are looking at a high of 79 degrees on Saturday with lows of 62, and Sunday remaining in the low 80s with a high of 80 degrees and lows of 61 degrees. It will be partly cloudy all week, but mostly sunny in the skies for us during the day. Looking at the national forecast, showing the lows here, New York is currently 76 degrees with lows of 61 tonight and getting some rain. Down to Miami, Florida at 84. Later tonight, they will experience scattered storms with temperatures at 78 degrees. Chicago in the mid-70s today and lows of 56. Nebraska reached 81 degrees today with lows of tonight at 59. Eastern New Mexico and Texas with light rain and thunder at 79 degrees currently, and later on 61 degrees with possible flash flood warnings. It is finally fall and temperatures are dropping, so get to the beach, take advantage of the warm weather while we still have it.
So let's take a look at the wild world of sports. Here's Steve Granado.
Baseball playoff runs, week 3 of football and hockey preseason. Lots of professional sports are taking flight, but before we get to all of that, let's take a look at Cal State Fullerton athletics. Another award was given to women's volleyball outside hitter Nikki Withers on Monday. Withers was awarded Freshman Player of the Week as announced by the Big West Conference. She has recorded double-digit kills in 13 of Fullerton matches this season. The Freshman Player of the Week honors Withers received is her third in 4 weeks to start the season. Women's soccer defeated Idaho State this past Thursday at Titan Stadium. 2 goals from junior Rebecca Wilson led the Titan offense in a 4-1 victory. 4 goals is a season high for the Titans as they took 14 shots, 8 of which were on goal. Women's soccer now moves to 2-5-0 on the young season. Men's soccer squared off with Nebraska Omaha on Sunday, looking for its 3rd consecutive victory. Here's Colin Yee with the story.
Thanks, guys. The Titans look to continue their winning streak after a big win yesterday against Santa Clara, 1-0. They're playing Nebraska Omaha. Let's take a look at the highlights.
The Titans were accompanied by some future soccer stars for the noon start against the Nebraska Omaha Mavericks. Let's get straight to the action here in the first half. Mark Vasquez will find Amara Suma, who sneaks one by the Mavericks goalie Joseph Giddis, putting the Titans up 1-0. Titans outshot the Mavericks in the first half 13-2. Second half action, the Mavericks to even things up. Bounce Rookwood receives a beautiful pass from Jake McCain here and completes the header to knot the game up with 1. The Titans, however, came right back. Amara Suma not only scores goals, but he can get assists too. Here he finds Garrett Lucy for the go-ahead goal. That's Lucy's second go-ahead goal in 2 days and his 3rd goal of the season. With a minute left in the game, Ian Ramos wishes to close the door on the Mavericks, and he does with this beautiful goal, sealing the victory, giving the Titans a 3-1 win over the Mavericks, their 3rd victory in a row.
The biggest thing is the resiliency. Instead of putting our heads down and saying, oh no, when a goal is scored, we're saying, oh no, you won't, when the goal is scored. So we're playing a little bit better determination and attitude when the game's in peak moments. I always say when there's momentum in the game, if you can execute while you have momentum, you have a great chance to win. If you don't, then it can come back to bite you.
A huge shot discrepancy in the game against Nebraska Omaha. The Titans had 20 shots as opposed to Omaha's 4. And it led to a 3-1 victory. Goals for Garrett Lucy, Amara Suma, and Ian Ramos. Titans are going to take on Grand Canyon, and they'll look for their 4th win in a row. From Titan Stadium, Colin Yee, Titan Sports Recap.
Let's take a look at some MLB playoff races. The Angels have already clinched their postseason berth by locking up the American League West Division last Wednesday, but they're still looking to lock up best record honors. The Halos helped themselves out with a 2-0 victory over the Athletics last night and won earlier today 5-4. Their magic number to clinch the AL best record sits at 2.5 games. The LA Dodgers have a big opportunity as they take on the 2nd place San Francisco Giants at Dodger Stadium tonight. The Dodgers' magic number to clinch the National League West is the loneliest number, 1. With a victory tonight, the Dodgers can punch their ticket into the National League Division Series after beating the Giants last night 4-2. Baseball's ERA leader Clayton Kershaw is on the bump as the Dodgers attempt to win back-to-back division titles. To football, this past Sunday, the San Diego Chargers kept things rolling by beating the Buffalo Bills 22-10. Wide receiver Eddie Royal had 4 receptions and 2 touchdowns while recording 42 receiving yards. Quarterback Phillip Rivers went 18 for 25 while recording 256 passing yards in the Bolts' second victory of the season. The San Francisco 49ers, on the other hand, did not have such luck this past Sunday as the Arizona Cardinals took their last game 23-14. For the second week in a row, San Francisco was unable to get the job done against a team many would believe they could beat. The Niners square off with the Eagles this coming Sunday. And finally, a little preseason hockey action coming your way. The Anaheim Ducks took to the ice in a split squad with the Colorado Avalanche, one in Colorado and one in Anaheim on Monday. Anaheim won both of those games by scores of 5-2 and 4-0. Last night, the Ducks were blanked by the Arizona Coyotes at Honda Center 4-0. The also split squad LA Kings beat the Coyotes in a shootout this past Monday 4-3 in LA, while coincidentally losing 5-4 in shootouts in Phoenix. The Anaheim Ducks and LA Kings will square off tomorrow night at Staples Center for their first of 2 preseason matchups. The next coming on Sunday the 28th at Honda Center. That's what's going on in the world of sports. Back on over to Patrick and Maria.
On a superhero-inspired screenplay and details on Heads Like Fists, a comedy coming to Cal State Fullerton's theater department.
Then we will take you front and center with highlights from Bang Fest.
It's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
From local to Hollywood entertainment news and gossip, here's Christina Rasband with the latest.
Thanks, guys. Here at Cal State Fullerton, our theater department is already getting ready for this season's upcoming shows. By using superheroes, villains, and of course, the obvious love story, playwright Adam Zimkowick gives audiences a new contemporary feel of the concept of love. A comedy being offered by CSUF's theater department is called Hearts Like Fists. This play integrates 3 crime fighters that have different personalities, which help them come together in order to stop the evil villain Dr. X from injecting lovers with a deadly serum. Hearts Like Fists opens Friday at Clay's Performing Arts Center and runs through October 19th. Tickets are $11 at the door and $10 with an advanced Titan discount. Something cold and icy is coming soon, and I'm not referring to the weather. Walt Disney World has announced a new ride where guests can let it go and enjoy the newest Frozen attraction. Disney is targeting a launch of early 2016. The new attraction will replace the Maelstrom Viking-themed boat ride at the Norway Pavilion and will immerse guests in their favorite moments and music of the film. The pavilion will also include Anna and Elsa, who will do meet and greets with guests. Frozen, the feature film, made $1.27 billion in revenue. It's no wonder why Disney decided it might be a good idea to add the experience of Arendelle for its guests. Well, the 2 lovebirds finally tied the knot this weekend. Fashionista Lauren Conrad and musician William Tell are officially married as they celebrated their wedding off the California coast. The newlyweds began dating on Valentine's Day 2012 and got engaged last year in October. The couple looks so in love, there's no way you can't help but smile when you see them together. Congratulations, both of you, from OC News. A young actress is facing backlash for a speech at the UN, and a country star will be walking down the aisle soon. Jeremy Roth has more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Your Excellencies.
Just days after Emma Watson made a passionate speech for gender equality, someone is threatening to release nude photos of her. Business Insider reports that a 4chan user posted a link to this countdown hinting that the Harry Potter actress could be the next star to have personal pictures leaked on the internet. There is no evidence that the photos actually exist. One half of country duo Florida Georgia Line is tying the knot. Tyler Hubbard announced his engagement to Haley Stommel by posting this photo on Instagram with the caption, "Blessed to call this angel my fiancé." Florida Georgia Line's next record hits shelves on October 14th. And good news for Breaking Bad fans, desperate for a glimpse of the show's spin-off Better Call Saul, AMC has released a new clip of the highly anticipated drama.
I bet if we were in church right now, I'd get a big amen.
Better Call Saul is set to premiere next February. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
For not standing up at a concert last week in Sydney, Australia, Kanye West had a different man in a wheelchair crowd surf during his performance of AAHH Festival in Chicago this past Sunday. In a photo tweeted by user @LXScope, a man in a wheelchair can be seen in the bottom right-hand corner wearing a number 54 jersey. Though there has been controversy as to Kanye's actions during his show in Sydney, Kanye says, quote, "People who've never heard my albums to somehow read a headline that reads negative and think I'm a bad person or something, I'm not judging. I'm just going to tell you who I am. I'm a married Christian man." Well, that's all the local Hollywood entertainment news and gossip we have for today. I'm Christina Razvan. Back to you guys.
The Santa Ana Observatory was packed with music fans from the punk and rockabilly scene this past Saturday. Make the Music Go Bang Festival was an all-day family event that hosted bands from around the world, like English punk rock band The Buzzcocks. There were also bands from right here in California, like the East LA rock band Los Lobos, known for their rendition of the song La Bamba, and the rock band X, who closed out the show. There were 3 stages where bands performed, and each headliner was able to play for 1 hour on the main stage. In between sets, fans were able to grab a bite to eat from the food trucks and buy rockabilly attire from the booths set up at the entrance. It appeared that the crowd was pumped and ready to rock. That's going to do it for us here at OC News. I'm Patrick Bates.
And I'm Maria Zamudio. We'll see you on the next edition of OC News. Have a good night.